Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Well, we're having this conversation, the town hall conversation between Dr. Chris Ngige. Apparently, it's between just you now and the audience that we have here.
Yes.
You will definitely have ample room to talk about what you intend to do for the people of Anambra State. We're hoping that, we can have a different sort of format. But since we're still waiting for the rest of the candidates and they're still not here yet, we will give you the floor. You have talked about education. You've given a background of yourself and where you're coming from. But one of the things, talking with the people just before I got on here, one of the things that strikes anyone, a host of people are worried about the loss of values. We're taking the front page of a paper today. They say because of greed, somebody leads church members or some people to church to rob a priest. People wonder what level of deprivation the people get to, that they don't even recognize that the church is a sacred place, and even take, armed robbery to the church. They're worried about the loss of values, and they're wondering what you're going to bring to change that.
Well, the loss of value we now have is something that has enveloped the whole country. And this loss of value stems from the fact that corruption has been entrenched in here. And corruption is actually something that does not come in its pure form. That is the definition of corruption. So when people look at corruption as only taking money from the till, government till, it's not true. Anything that does not come in its pure form, whether it is you are employing people and you are parochial about it, you are doing it for friends only, whether it is promoting people, whether it is awarding government contracts and you are favoring only. So the system has an eroded value base, but something can still be done. Because if you remember how I started, I said, I want to go to the youth. If you go to the youth and you give them employment, and they earn money that is necessary, or that's enough to keep body and soul together. Because the fundamental thing that any government owes our people, number one is security, is enshrined in section 14, chapter 2, 14.2 of Nigerian Constitution. You go further in section B, talking about the security, it also said government must secure the people in terms of their welfare. The welfare parameters are food. People must be able to eat, to be alive. Shelter, they must have roof over their head. Then their well-being, which is health facilities. When they are sick, they go to hospital. Education for their children and upcoming generation. Because education is power. Health is wealth. That is how it is defined. So you must create the enabling environment as government for these components to be given to your citizens. So if, like I said before, I change the school curricula or, surgically put certain things into it, like skill acquisition. Not everybody will then go for white-collar job. Your hands will be trained as a painter, as a welder, as a carpenter, as a tailor, so that if you don't not lucky enough to read and go to do BA, BSc, MSc, MA, PhD, you go on this other line.
So you believe that it is joblessness or idleness that drives people into crime?
The idle man is the devil's workshop.
Some people might not agree with you. Some people say that some people are just greedy.
Yes, but it started somewhere. Little drops of water make up an ocean. People were not employed. That is why they went to robbery in the first instance. And even in Anambra State now, there's no pure robbery anymore, armed robbery. They now capture human beings. They rob and take human beings, which you call kidnapping, and ask you for money, for ransom. That is the type of robbery, but it's a higher form of
Now,
robbery.
considering the stakes that people make from that kind of, you know how much people usually ask for ransom.
Very good.
And when people are used to making that type of money and going away scot-free, as it were, how do you intend to change that? Because you're talking about vocational studies, you're talking about schools.
That is why my government will create jobs that will not give you that kind of money, but will give you money that will make you comfortable. For example, I want to do agricultural scheme. I want to put youth village in most of the agricultural places of Ayamelum, fertile land there, Anambra East or Anam, Omo, Oboji in Urumba. I will establish farm settlement scheme.
Are you seeing sorry to cut you there, but are you seeing a situation where someone who's used to kidnapping will all of a sudden change and become a farmer or become someone who's doing things with his hands only and simply because you brought that?
That is why you are a government. You have given them an alternative. They refuse to take your alternative, then that is when you go into curative of attacking them too, arresting them, sending them to jail, putting them away out of circulation. But you must try to give an alternative, and in doing so, let those who have not actually been poisoned, not jaundiced already, to do the right thing. So it's something you take on a double-barrel approach, and it will take some time, because those who have tasted the forbidden fruit, like you described it, getting millions for just taking somebody and asking that you give me money, I will release. It's cheap money. They will not like to come very quickly. But when they see that some other people have gone into this other line, they are comfortable, but they are not riding big cars like we, the kidnappers, and that those who are still kidnapping are facing the mighty wrath of the law. Because here, I'm going to face them. I'm going to fight them. I fought them in 2003, and I removed all the robbers from this state. In fact, in 2003, I employed known armed robbers and said, come, we make peace. I'll pay you this amount. Help me guide this state. And they did. Those who didn't, we dealt with them too, and they ran out from this state.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's a town hall conversation. I'm going to be given, or we are going to be given opportunities for you to ask questions. I'm going to be more amongst you because this is your conversation. At the end of the day, you, the people of Anambra State, will decide whether or not you are convinced by his arguments and whether or not you would like him to be your governor. Well, we take a break now and we'll return in just... Welcome back to our viewers at home and to you here in the hall. Thank you for your patience. While we were on break, we were joined by the candidate of the Labour Party, Dr. Ifeanyi Ubah. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Now, before we go into, before we talk about or take questions on the opening statement of Dr. Ngige, who was talking about security before we went on break, let us take the opening statement of Dr. Ifeanyi Ubah. You're welcome.
Thank you.
Please kindly tell us why you want to be the governor of Anambra State come November 16th this year.
Okay. Well, in Anambra, Dalono, one of the reasons...
It would be nice if you could just, get up and address your people.
Oh, I can stand up?
Yes, please.
I don't know.
By all means.
Okay. One of my reasons for contesting for...
No, you can stay here.
Oh, really? Because I don't think you need to direct me.
Sorry. This way.
Well, I want to thank you all first for coming to this event. I'm coming into Anambra State because of the situation of things in Anambra State. Looking at Anambra holistically, you discover that everything has gone bad in Anambra State. The insecurity has deprived us of a lot of goodies in Anambra State. And our business, for example, you can be in Lagos, you make the whole money in Lagos, and you can't even come to your state. 80% of our youths or our businessmen, they don't sleep again in Anambra State. And government is not working. We only see activities of government in the pages of newspaper. This is a state where the former deputy governor was kidnapped. Ransom was paid and he was killed. State where a traditional ruler was kidnapped, ransom paid and he was killed. This is a state where you can come out in a day and then you discover 47 bodies of youths in a river. And no one can claim, or no one knows who, what brought about the lives of the people getting to that state. So this is our lives, and we need to come into Anambra to rescue Anambra. But the good thing I'm bringing into the table of governance is to set a standard, not only for Anambra, but for entire Nigeria. To get our governors to be working, to bring enterprise in government. That is why Ifeanyi Ubah is it. We are going to run a two-parallel government. One is administrative government of the state, and one is business government. I'm going to head the business government while my deputy governor will take over the administrative structure. I will be overseeing as a governor. But the most important thing is that we need to segregate labor so that my deputy can run the administrative structure and I will take the business, because we need to create employment. We need to generate the internal generated revenue. We need to add value to the state by generating money for the state. We can't continue to sit after every 25 days we will have a federal allocation. I have a plan, a master plan, to generate above 10 billion every month in Anambra. And I'm the only candidate among all the candidates that can give you a straight analysis of how I can generate that money. So that is why I'm in Anambra State. We need to look at the values that we are losing. The capital flights we've lost to so many states. Looking today in Nigeria, our youths have been, our states, we can't even count any business that is thriving in our state. We are becoming they mock us all over the state, all over the country. This is Anambra that has produced so many people. People like Dim Odumegwu Ojukwu, Louis Ojukwu, Ibeto, so many people. Today we cannot count of any meaningful economic value that Anambra State have. The only industry that we have in Anambra State after 7.5 years is a brewery industry. And for me, Ifeanyi Ubah, I don't think I can sit in Lagos in my palace and be watching things going down. And that is why I came at this particular point to intervene. Thank you.
Well, thank you, Dr. Ubah. Now, you will all agree with me that one thing we are agreed on is that security is a problem for Anambra State, or the citizens of Anambra State. Before Dr. Ubah walked in, well, before, just then, we're hoping that you will give very good reasons for coming late. We're hoping that that is not how you hope to run government. But before you came in, Dr. Chris Ngige was telling us about how he intends to beef up security in this state. He says that he's done it before. I want to believe that you all have your questions ready for Dr. Ngige in terms of how he intends to ensure that security is beefed up in this state and that you all can come home freely, especially considering that police, which is a key component of ensuring security, is still on the